Hello you guys, it's Emma. Welcome back, or welcome if you are new here. Today I want to share with you some inspiration for the Advent season. I have a lot planned for this video, so be sure to watch till the end and see all of the different ways that we are entering into this Advent season. This year feels very different. My mental space feels different. My attitude towards these days of preparation feels different, and a lot of it feels like fighting against what culture is pushing on us at the moment. Everything is so busy, so focused on Christmas, and has been for quite a while, where I've gotten to this place where I'm feeling behind on not having my Christmas tree decorated and all of these things. And while I was home for Thanksgiving, I had a lot of conversations with different family members about how they were going to be entering into this Advent season, this season of preparation before Christmas. And it was so good to just hear what other people were doing and get some ideas. And through conversation, I realized that it is helpful to me to spend these days preparing my home, getting things ready, wrapping gifts, doing all of the things, but doing it because I'm also preparing my heart at the same time, and feeling like these days that I was decorating, I still am. I'm still in the midst of it, just taking it slow, doing it when moments allow me to, involving our boys in the process. This year feels different in a lot of ways because of the age that our children are. They just turned 3, and so they're so much more capable of a lot of things. Their memory is so strong, and they're just enjoying this time of preparation. So one thing that my mom did growing up was she always put candles in all of the windows of the house. And she has a very colonial style house, which has a lot of windows on the front of the house. And so you would see these little lights. And so I've continued this tradition in our home. And these little candles are great because they are just battery operated, and there's a little remote. And so I will have my boys take turns turning them on and off. The sun comes up, then they'll go around and turn them all off, and then in the evening when it starts to get dark, I'll have them go turn it all on. And it's just a really sweet way, and it's fun. We live right in town, and so I've had a couple of friends say, I love those lights in your windows, and it's just a small way to show the world that we are radiating the light of Christ in this world. And I love how simple and lovely this tradition is. I'm really leaning into this idea of this season being of preparing, and that we actually are not at Christmas yet. We have not gotten to that day, and we are not in the season of Christmas, but we are in this season before Christmas of preparation, this season of Advent. And so there's been things that we've been doing in our homes to help with this waiting. And what do we do in the waiting? And for me, I really love to prepare things. It's kind of in my nature, I find, especially as a Montessorian. If you've been around here before, you know that I talk a lot about preparing our environment and preparing ourselves for meeting the needs of the children. And so honestly, our Christmas decor is reflecting that as well. I'm finding ways to get the boys involved in this, and one of those things has been stringing dried oranges into Garland. So a few weeks ago, we worked together and dried a bunch of oranges and clementine slices in a dehydrator, and now we have them to string together. So this is going to make some great handiwork throughout the next couple of weeks. I anticipate just slowly adding strings of garland throughout this Advent season. I popped up some popcorn and have some cranberries to string with the boys as well, to add to our home decor. There's something special about taking the time to decorate your home in a very different way. I think it's telling of what this season is really about and what it is that we are preparing to celebrate. I heard recently how this season of waiting, these days before Christmas, are a time of preparation for the birth of Jesus coming, but it's also a time of preparing for his second coming, which we don't know when that will be. And in this sermon, the priest was saying how if you had only this Advent left, that on December 25th, that was the day that Jesus was coming back, how would you live these 25 days? And I think for me, this is a time I would want to really take to prepare my heart. And for me, one thing I know about my mind and my heart is that it is so highly influenced and affected by my environment around me. And when I see things that are beautiful and orderly, it helps my mental state. And so to look around and see the lights, it helps me remember, what are we preparing for? What am I preparing for? It's also helped me to realize that I don't have to get this all done immediately. I have the 25 days leading up to Christmas, and then I have 12 days of Christmas to continue celebrating. And so it feels less rushed to start celebrating now, because I'm really not supposed to be. That this is really a time of waiting for the celebrations that are to come in the Christmas season. And so another thing that we have been doing with the boys is an Advent wreath with candles. And so there's one candle for every week of Advent, and it's 3 purple candles and a pink candle. And then there's a white candle in the middle for Christmas. And every Sunday we will light another candle. And the third candle is the pink candle. That's the candle that represents joy. I am reminded of this waiting through them and through using this Advent wreath with them, as well as we've been doing an Advent book calendar. You maybe heard me mention it before. I'll link a blog post to it down below, where I wrapped up 25 Christmas books and Advent books, and each day the boys get to choose one and open it, and we'll read it together. And I have a little pillow that has 25 little compartments, so we get to move the little St. Nicholas stuffed guy one spot every day. And it's just been really good for me as well to see this waiting, and for them to see, like, can we open another one? Like, nope, just one. We'll get to open another one tomorrow. And even with the candles, they want to light all of the candles. And so it's fun to just have this opportunity to really prepare and pause and build up the excitement for what is coming on Christmas. And I'm also motivated to really enjoy our home this season, because we will be traveling for Christmas and staying with family, which is amazing, but we won't be in our home on Christmas morning. But then last night with my husband, I was saying, we really should just celebrate Christmas again when we get home, and we totally will. I was like, we have 12 days to celebrate Christmas, and every day is like it's Christmas Day. And so I think we're going to, leave some of the presents at home to give, and wake up on Christmas morning, on one of the 12 days of Christmas morning, in our own home, and have our own Christmas morning in our space. And I'm really excited about doing that and starting that new tradition. This is our first year in this new home, living away from family and traveling for the holidays. A new tradition that I am starting for myself this Advent are these Waldorf paper stars. And I saw this online on Instagram by Nicole Kavanaugh. She's done this. She's another Montessori account, and she does one star, like one folded star every day of Advent, and tapes it up on her window. And we have these beautiful big windows in our sunroom, and so I thought this would be a great place to hang these stars. And so I just find tutorials online, and they're varying in like amount of time they take and difficulty. I think this one I probably did in like 10 or 15 minutes. And then the first couple, I was like, oh man, do I really want to do this all Advent? But then by the third day doing the star, it has been so peaceful and enjoyable to just sit down and have something that calms my mind and is peaceful, is beautiful, and you can kind of see this gradual growth as we progress through Advent. So I'm a few days behind, but I'll probably try to catch up over the weekend, and I just love what they bring, brightness, and I think they might bring some joy to the people driving by or walking by on the road as well. Every year, the way that I decorate has been a bit different, and it's definitely been because I've been able to collect things while I've been out thrifting. But I think what I'm leaning into this year is really just a handmade, cozy Christmas, like bringing it back to the basics. Simple candles, orange slices, garlands, and just sweet, simple things. And then I've been doing some little things in the boys' rooms. We had picked up these Christmas sheets from Aldi last year. And so I made their beds with Christmas sheets, and they found a pack of colored Christmas lights, which if you like colored lights, that's wonderful. I prefer the white lights. And so they found some colored lights though in our bins of decorations, and so we plugged those in and hung them up in their bedroom, which is kind of fun. And I was feeling like we needed some more garland. I only own one set of garland that I put on top of the piano, and so I reached out to a couple of friends who have some land have some property, and just asked if they have any trees with good greenery that I could come and forage. And a friend of mine said yes, and so I went over there and we just walked around and collected a bunch of branches of some greens, and I filled a big garbage bag and brought them home, and I got making my own homemade garland. And so I got to make this. I'll link a video that I watched down below. It's really simple. I got some florist wire, and then you just use that and kind of create bundles and make those bundles, kind of lay them along one another as you go, creating a garland. My husband found this sweet little tree. It's such a quaint little tree, but it'll be great for our Christmas here. And with the help of my husband, we were able to hang this garland on the banister, and I'm just obsessed with it. I'm going to add in some orange slices mixed in here. I did this with another little garland that I made for the bookshelf under the TV, and it was really, I just think it looks so sweet. We also don't have a fireplace in this home, and so I've been thinking for months, how are we gonna hang our stockings? And so I figure the banister on the staircase is probably the best place for them. So I got these little command hooks, and my son helped me hang the stockings, and I think they look great here. Now, I recognize the irony of this video of talking about slowing down and using the whole season, and yet I've decorated most of my home in this one video, and I feel this pressure in this creation space to have content out by a certain time. And like I said at the beginning of the video, I already feel like I'm behind, and yet I kind of will push back on that because I'm not going to be one who decorates much before Thanksgiving, or at all before Thanksgiving. And so I want to just share with you if you're feeling that pressure too, of it not being all ready or it not looking the way that you want, just that you have time. you have time because you have all of these days leading up to Christmas, and you have the whole Christmas season. And I think our culture tells us that on November 1st, Christmas starts, and on December 25th, Christmas ends. And actually, that isn't true. We have more time than that to prepare, and that this season is actually a time of preparation, and that just having that permission to say, actually, I have a lot of time that I can use just to prepare, has totally changed the stress level for me and made these things feel more intentional and like I'm creating the Advent and the moments that I want. Still doing things, like still being busy and productive, but with a different mindset, and it's helping me to be a lot more intentional with what I'm doing with the boys and how I'm spending my time in the home as well. Well, you guys, I will have more to share with you, but this is all for today's video. If you liked it, please hit that like and subscribe button, and I will see you next week for another video. Until then, enjoy your Advent season. Bye.